Okie dokie, everyone. Hey, everyone. I'm Minty Bets, joined with Teddy Covers. How are you doing today, Teddy?
I'm doing fine, Minty. How about yourself? I'm excited because, in theory, we have NBA and MLB on the horizon before football season even starts. So, thankfully, there is some potential light at the end of the tunnel for us.
Yes,
and those are waiting for team sports to come back desperately. There are signs, so that's a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. And Teddy, let me ask you, how do you feel about, just really quickly, how do you feel about this shortened baseball season, all the new rules? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
I think that we're going to be able to make money with it. As a fan, the issues are not about how much I like it as a fan. The issue is it handicappable and is it beatable? And boy, I think there's going to be some good opportunities in MLB. There really are, because as we know, if you focus on the MLB season like you focus on the 2020 season like you focus on baseball in April, where it's starting out and you can ride bad teams that are hot and you can bet against cold teams that are good. I think there'll be opportunities for that this MLB season. And more than any other factor, boy, I really think that watchers are going to benefit this year, and that helps me. I'm a watcher.
Yes, same.
And if you're trying to beat sports in 2020 with statistical profiles, I wish you luck. But I really think the nuance and the watching and the reading is going to help you more than the stats will this year. So at least that's my approach going in. And I really go in with high hopes. I do think that the abbreviated MLB season and the weirdness of whatever the NBA playoffs are going to look like, it might well benefit my handicapping styles, because I like to ride hot teams, I like to fade cold teams, and I don't care what the long-term stats say. And this might be a real good opportunity to take advantage of some of that this year.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident and I'm hoping. But on the other hand, I mean, I really am. I do think that there will be some really good opportunities, betting-wise, perhaps better than the average year.
Okay.
When we get something to bet on. I know UFC guys are betting and golf guys are betting, and I wish you all the best. But for the team sports guys like myself, I'm really looking forward to having something to bet on. And given that we will have something to bet on, I think that there will be some really good opportunities, because the markets gravitate towards stats in 2020.
Yeah.
And stats may not help you that much this year.
Yes. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you, Teddy. So this week we're going to go over a week in the life of Teddy Covers during football season, where Teddy takes us through his daily routine for a week's span and elaborates how he goes about football betting. Before I get to Teddy, I just want to say hi to James, Johnny, Carmine, what's up, Robert, and David. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Please include, just throw out any questions at us that you want to know that Teddy can answer. And Teddy, you're taking us through college and NFL because it's football season. Tell us about that.
Yeah, sure. So you were like, is this college or NFL? And I'm like, yes, it's college and NFL, because football season is what it is. And people say, why don't you start college hoops at the beginning of November? Why do you take your time in college hoops? You'll understand why when you talk about what the football week looks like. And then you add NBA onto that in mid-October.
Yes.
And, that from mid-October to the end of November is my single busiest time. It's busier than bowl season. It's busier than March Madness even. That 6-week stretch is brutal. So when breaking down the week, Minty, I decided to start on Saturday night.
Okay.
You can go through this on Monday, but Saturday night is when the true prep begins for the next week.
Okay.
So what am I doing on Saturday? And we'll get through what I do on Saturday day at the very end. But we'll start with Saturday night.
Okay.
And Saturday night obviously is all about college football. Going through every box score. Every one of them. Saturday night before I go to bed. I'm going through game recaps on Saturday. I'm highlighting injury information. That's key in college football. You don't have injury reports in college like you do in the NFL. So anything that you read when you're going through all the game recaps and the beat writers, and this guy's hurt and that guy's questionable, and this guy's maybe, you're writing that down, you're putting that in a place where you can access it as the week progresses. But you're really looking for any key injury info. Sometimes in college, again, I come back to one game that I can still remember, where USC was playing Notre Dame, and the Irish had lost one lineman going in, and they lost one lineman during the game. They lost another lineman during the game, and they lost another lineman in practice. So they were missing 4 starting offensive linemen by Monday. You know, it was like Monday or Tuesday, early in the week. And the markets didn't move on it. And the final score was like 38-3. You know, it wasn't close. Injury info is key. So going through the box scores, going through the game recaps, going through the injury info on Saturday night, as I'm going through each team A plays Team B, going through all their info, I'm updating my power ratings. You know, the first update comes Saturday night as I'm going through the box scores. And this is all going on as the night games are going. Here on the left coast, the 4 o'clock games, the 5 o'clock games, the 7 o'clock games, the 8 o'clock games. I'll fully focus on football, on college football, for the early games, the 9 o'clock games and the 12:30 games. But later in the day, yeah, your TVs are on. Yeah, you're watching the games, but you're also going through your box scores, you're going through your recaps. There's a lot of multitasking on weekends, and this is certainly part of the process. So I'm updating my college football power ratings. And again, every number has to be right. There's 130 teams. Okay, if I'm wrong on my assessment of one team, it's going to cost me bad bets. You know, so I take my time with each box score, each recap, each team, because I want my numbers to be good.
Right.
As the night games are going. And again, I'm watching all the night games. I don't turn off the TV normally till after sometimes I'll turn it off in the fourth quarter, but usually until after like the 8 o'clock game, the 11 o'clock Eastern time games are done. You know, they usually have a handful of Pac-12 games or whatever, the Hawaii game, you know, whatever's on late. This is all going on throughout. And of course, you're betting and tweeting the late games as well. So Saturday night is tough. You know, you're doing a lot of work as you're betting, as you're watching, and as you're recapping. So, you know, Saturday is a 16-hour day every day during football season, every week during football season. There are no real exceptions to that. And just as people say, all right, well, you go wedding. No, I don't go to weddings. If someone gets married during football season, I'll send you a card.
No, fall wedding.
I don't go to funerals during football season. You know, you died, I'm sorry, I'll send a card. You know, you know, Thanksgiving. You know, but from the beginning of August through to Thanksgiving, there are no breaks. You know, there's no, all right, well, let's take a week. Oh, I want to take a couple days. No, you know, it doesn't happen. Not for me. So that's what Saturday nights are looking like. Box scores, recaps, injuries, power ratings, watching, betting, tweeting the late games, getting as much info as you can out of all of that. That's what Saturday nights are looking like.
And Teddy, I have a question from one of our listeners. David asks, box scores are pretty tedious doing them all. What do you do to make that process efficient? Do you have any tips on that? How you keep track of everything and how you make it like efficient?
I don't try to make it efficient.
Okay, you don't
That's
try
the
to
truth,
make it efficient.
okay?
When
you're aggregating stats, okay, when you're aggregating them and you're getting them put into a spreadsheet form for you, you can cut down on some of the cut and, you know, click and click and click. But you better, if you're going to aggregate the stats, and I wouldn't, you know, I have no hesitation. That's the way to make it more efficient, is to aggregate stuff. But you want to take your time with every single box score. Okay. You want, and there are misleading box scores in college football every week. Sure. I go through PBP, and I go through play-by-play of most games. Anything I didn't watch, I'm trying to go through PBP, and I'm trying to get an assessment. Hey, did these yards come when the game was over? Did these yards come when the other team was playing prevent defense? Did the yards, you know, when I'm adjusting my power rating, it's not based solely on the stats and the box score numbers. It's based on the nuance of those stats and those box score numbers and the recap. Oh, gee. You know, they had cluster injuries in the offensive line in the second half. The offense didn't work. Oh, but everyone's going to be back this week. Well, then maybe you don't adjust downward as much as you would if they didn't have the cluster injuries in the offensive line and the offense just started to work, it just stopped working. There's all these nuances as you adjust. So I'm not trying to make it super efficient. Okay, the math guys are all trying to make it super efficient. That's my edge, is I'm taking my time with every single frickin' box score. And it's a slow process. It is. But I want to know what happened and why it happened. And I want a good understanding of that before I even try to think about that team next week. So certainly efficiency to get to have a script, right, and then put you on the numbers for you in a spreadsheet makes a ton of sense. But you better take your time with those numbers in the spreadsheet, or else the aggregate numbers won't really help you all that much.
Okay.
Excellent question.
How about, oh, yes, excellent question indeed. Robert asks, I don't know if we have time for this, but what are the top 3 things you look at when you study in general? Do you have a top 3 that you study in general?
So we're actually going to get to that right now.
Okay, good.
Good.
Perfect.
Another good. Keep the questions coming, guys.
Robert.
Great questions. We appreciate them.
Yay, thanks for listening, guys. All right, so we're moving on to Sunday morning, my favorite. That's when all the NFL games start. And here on the West Coast, they start pretty early, 10 a.m., which, growing up, I didn't really think that on the East Coast it started so late at like 1 p.m. So it's crazy for me to think that it starts so late.
Sure. And then when you go back east, you're like, what the hell do I do all morning?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like here, you don't even have time to grocery shop before the football games. You just like wake up and it's on. So
well, my alarm goes up. My alarm is set for 6 on Sunday mornings, because the one thing I have to do before I start doing anything with the NFL that I don't usually finish on Saturday nights because I'm too tired, I need to get my lines ready for the openers. For college football, I've gone through all my power ratings, I've made my adjustments, and now I've got to have my lines ready. So I go through and make my line for every game. And it's a strict powering number. Sometimes I adjust slightly based on situation. But when the first numbers come up on Saturday, when Circa posts those first numbers, and then Bet Chris and then Westgate and on down the line, when those first numbers get posted, I need to have numbers made. So that's the first thing I do on Sunday mornings. And then your focus shifts. All right, you've crammed college for 24 hours,
Yes.
The amount of college football intake from, it's 8 or 9 o'clock on Saturday morning till 8 or 9 o'clock on Sunday morning is enormous. It's not a night where you're going to sleep 8 hours. It's just how it is during football season. Once I finish my making the numbers, my lines for college football for the next week, I take college and I put it over here for a little while. Okay, now we're focused on NFL. And with NFL, what are you doing? You're betting, you're tweeting the NFL late line moves. Where's the money going? You've been waiting for a number all week. Oh yeah, at 40, I can finally bet under 46.5. That's my strike price. So you're fine. I'm always, the live odds screen is always open. Again, Wager Talk, Sports Memo, both have great live odds product. That's free. That's open all the time. And then, of course, you're watching the NFL games. So, yes, what am I focusing on when I'm watching? All right. Kind of the question. I think it's the question that I was asked that I said I was just about to answer. When I'm watching NFL games, or college football games, the focus is exactly the same. It starts in the trenches. Can the offensive line run block? Can they pass block? Can the defensive line muck things up, or are they getting blown off the line of scrimmage? OL and DL. I always start in the trenches. I want to know if the quarterback can make any plays or not in college football. Obviously, as you're watching, mostly you have what you read. I want to know what I see. Can the guy make can the guy make throws? Can the guy make decisions? I'm interested in the secondary. Are the cornerbacks capable of covering anyone, or the good passing teams going to be in college football? You see the good passing teams just pick the bad defenses apart. Is there anyone in the secondary who can make any plays? I'm interested in coaching decisions. When you're watching, you're paying attention to how's the coach using his timeouts? How's he using playing situational football? Is the coach clueless? Does he seem to know what's going on? And you're paying as much attention as you can to team chemistry concepts, simple stuff. Guy gets knocked down. How many teammates are there to come pick him up? You can get a good sense of what a team's chemistry is, especially on defense, by just watching the players and how they react after the plays. And when there's communication and when there's guys helping each other. It's a big difference on a defense than when there's not that. And all this is visual. You can see it. The stats won't necessarily tell you this. Offensive line, defensive line, quarterback, can he make plays? Secondary, coaching, team chemistry. That's what I'm looking for when I'm watching. That's my focus.
Okay.
Maybe there's other stuff that I want to pay attention to or what, but that's my primary focus.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
So
that's Sunday morning, but you're not done with Sunday morning yet.
Oh, hell no. Weekends are long. You know what they're like.
I know.
I mean, weekends are long, man. The time between Friday night and Monday morning during football season it's like a week. You know.
Yes.
So I'm betting. I'm tweeting the late NFL game, the late line moves. I'm watching the games. Now college is going to open. All right. As college opens, there are I'm not someone that comes in and pounds the college opener every week. That said, I go through the college openers every week, and I might make a handful of first bets. And all I'm looking for when those first numbers come out is, this is my powering number, this is the powering number here. The first line move went this way. I need to capture this number right away or not. I don't even have opinions on most of these games yet. On Sunday, when it comes to betting college football openers, it's about getting numbers you don't think are going to be there, and then deciding what to do with them later in the week. So you're not going nuts. I don't go nuts on Sundays when the college board opens. There are people that get down 50 wagers on Sunday nights. I'm not that guy. Or 20 wagers. But I will make a handful of bets. Generally, make a handful of bets on Sunday in games where I've got a significant powering differential, where there's a team I'm like, hey, I'm buying this team or I'm selling that team, and that first line move is saying, you better do it sooner rather than later. That's what lines do jump around on Sunday nights, and you want to get the best of the number. The key, we talk about it on every show, we talk about it every week, but getting the best of the number, those half points, those points, they all add up. And we talked about, I think it was last week's show, we talked about the difference about 2 wagers out of 100, turning 2 pushes into wins, turning 2 losses into pushes. And the difference that makes to your bottom line. It was like a 75% bankroll differential for a $100 bettor. But it wouldn't matter what type of bettor you are. So, those concepts remain the same. And then, so we're going to make a handful of college bets on Sundays. But the focus still largely on the NFL. I'm betting NFL in games. I'm betting NFL halftimes. Betting the NFL late games, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, you're tweeting while all this is going on as well. So in terms of the focus, Saturday, the focus is college football through Sunday morning. On Sunday mornings, I do have my college football ready. I do throw the college football once, but Sundays, the focus tends to be more NFL, obviously, being that's what NFL is going on. So I'm betting the in games, I'm betting the halftimes, I'm betting the late games. And then, it's Sunday night.
Nighttime.
Yeah. So it's the same story, as Saturday night, but on Sunday night it's the NFL. I'm going through every box score, and again, the NFL, you can easily take your time in the NFL. There's never more than 16 games on a weekend, and one of them's on Thursday and one of them's on Monday. So there's never more than 14 games in an NFL Sunday, and if you can't thoroughly go through 14 box scores and recaps, you can't do this job.
Yeah.
So Sunday, you take your time. You go through the NFL. You go through the box scores. You go through the recaps. You read everything the beat writers have to say. Until you get your early injury information. And then on Sunday night, I'm going to update my NFL power ratings. Just like we did on Saturday night in college football, Sunday night before I go to bed, the NFL power ratings got to be done. As the NFL opens, again, I'm not making a ton of NFL bets on Sunday night. I tend to make the NFL more on Monday morning. So when it comes to the NFL, you certainly note the line moves, you note the direction of the market. There are times that you make a bet or two on Sunday night, sometimes 3 or 4. But I'm certainly not peppering the NFL board on Sunday night, nor am I peppering the college board on Sunday afternoon. Most of that comes just a little bit later in the week.
Okay. We have a question here from Automated Response 85 asking Teddy, you must get burnt out doing all of this. What do you do to take a break or just like refresh yourself?
You do get burnt out. Okay.
Fairly quickly, I would imagine, because you're looking at so many numbers. No.
So at this stage, I'm used to it. You know,
Okay.
my cycle. 2020 is like the year of 2020 has messed me up because I'm not going through my normal cycle, and I'm worried about what's going to happen come if we have 1 million sports in August. But you know, normally I'll take a little break at Thanksgiving. You know, that's when I exhale for a minute.
Okay.
But throughout the course of the week, again, we'll talk about. I have 2 nights off that I tend to take off over the course of the week, but that's it. You know, and then you vacation. You know, I take off July. You know, I don't normally work in July, which helps, which gets you. So when you're coming into it, you're tanned, rested, and ready. And when you do it, it doesn't kill you. I smoke pot sometimes, you know. You know, I do. You know, I say, well, what do you do to keep, you know, to not get completely burnt out? That's one of the things that helps me relax sometimes. So I do. But it's not, you know, you can't smoke pot all day, every day. It makes it really hard to get work done that way. I guess I've trained myself. That's the only answer. And I remember my dear departed friend Dave Malinsky used to talk about how he used to work out so he would have the energy for the weekends. Like, it wasn't about working out to be strong. He was like, I need to be mentally focused at 11 o'clock on Saturday night, and mentally focused at you know, and have the energy to be just as focused at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. That certainly makes a lot of sense.
So, yes, literally you're just saying suck it up and only take major holidays and like July when there's just one sport on, basically. Got it.
Yeah, and again, we'll talk about, you know, the 2 days of the week that are a little bit lighter for me are Wednesdays and Fridays.
Okay.
And Wednesday night, you know, but we'll get to that in just a minute. So, but you can. It's not like you don't have any chance to breathe ever. But this is not a 9-to-5 job. You know,
when
it's
you're
not.
Dead.
No, and it's not just my money; it's my clients' money. You know, I hate wrong sides, Minty. I hate wrong sides like nobody's business. You know, I don't like being on the wrong end of 38 to 3s. And once in a while they happen, and you got to chug, but you don't want a lot of those.
Yeah.
So.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So you work.
You work hard for it. All right, let's move on to Monday before we run out of time. Monday, what's Monday look like for you?
So, so Monday, you wake up first thing, and the first thing I'm doing, just like Sunday, I finish my power ratings on Sunday night. On Monday morning, the first thing I'm doing after finishing my NFL power ratings, I'm making my lines. You know. Okay. So the lines are actually out for some time, and I've got an idea, but of what the number is, and my numbers aren't going to be way off the market. But by the time I actually make my number side total, that's Monday mornings. And then, of course, I'm prepping for the opening line report. You know, NFL OLR that you hear right here on the Wager Talk and Sports Memo network. But you prep for that's 10 a.m. Monday mornings, and it takes a fair bit of prep. You know, and so a lot of what I did on Sundays, I'm just I'm capsuling it and mentally putting it in the right place and all of that, so you're ready for the opening line report on Monday. On Monday, I like to put up client plays on Monday, and it's early week report. I don't put up a ton early in the week. There are guys who do a much better job than me with that. But my key is I'm looking to release games where the lines are moving around key numbers early in the week. I want clients to get a chance to capture those key numbers and those games when I'm confident. Yeah, I'm getting involved here. This is a play. Well, let's get down. Of course, when it comes to client plays, that includes write-ups and posting them, which takes a fair bit of time. But I usually put out at least some report on Monday, if not on Monday, on Tuesday. So we take advantage of some of the early week numbers. Before Monday Night Football kickoff, again, I'm going through my NFL beat writers. I'm going through my injury updates, and I'm updating my power ratings based on whatever other info that I've gotten. And then, of course, it's Monday Night Football, where you're watching and betting and tweeting And there are weeks that I pass out by halftime where I'm just gassed. It does. A game that I have no action. There are Monday Night Football, of all the football nights of the week. The Monday night game to me is the throwaway game. I'm not.
Really?
There are weeks that I'm in action on it. There are weeks I'm not. It's the game that I probably have. The game's on, but I probably have the least focus of any game throughout the course of the week.
No.
And part of that's because it's only one game. I'm so used to watching. I've got 3 TVs in the office.
Game after game.
Even Thursday night, you have college, you have NFL, you have multiple games on. The one game, Sunday night and Monday night, is not that it's slow, but it's a little bit slow compared to when you're watching everything. When I got 3 TVs on, if this one goes to commercial, I'm focusing on that one. That doesn't happen. There's only one game on. So the Sunday night and the Monday night games, while they're the big TV games for me, certainly from a watching standpoint, I can get a lot done watching Sunday night football and Monday night football. In comparison to where I'm not trying to get that same level of work done while I'm watching the early games in the NFL or the first 2 rounds of college football over the weekends.
Gotcha. And Teddy, a real quick question from David. Do you have a day of the week where you place most of your bets, or it doesn't really happen? You just base it on line moves and how do you have a day where
there's not one day of the week that I'm like, okay, today's the day I make my bets. We'll talk about it when we get into shortlist in a minute.
Okay.
But I literally will, during football season, I'll be betting I'll be making some bets just about every day throughout the course.
Okay.
And most of the time where I'm actually betting, you bet a lot on Saturdays and Sundays. You bet a lot right before kickoff and tip-off. But a lot of it's, all right, I'm waiting for a 46.5. And if I get the 46.5, I'll play the under. And if I don't get the 46.5, I won't make the bet.
Forget
I have a lot of strike prices that they're I'm not going to say they're fallacies, but, they're strike. All right, if it hits this, I'm interested. If it doesn't hit this, I'm not interested in that game.
Makes sense. Okay.
I don't know if properly.
No, that does answer it. It does make sense. And then real quick from Princess Chachu, the Hall of Fame game has been canceled. Do you think the NFL season will be canceled? I want to say no, Teddy.
So the Hall of Fame game being canceled was really it's not a good sign. I'll just leave it at that.
No.
That being said, if there's a game to cancel the Hall of Frickin' Fame game.
True.
Which is a game that I love.
You do?
I love the Hall of Fame because it means football's here. It's the start of football.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame is the start of football season. I'm often in action on it. There's always good unders to bet on that first night. So yeah, I will miss Monday the Hall of Fame game. But so we've been talking all day. I've been texting people and talking about making lines. Nobody knows. The answer is nobody knows. I've heard 90%, yes, we're going to have a football season. I've heard 10% we're going to have a NFL season. And these are from minds I respect. The answer is we don't know. And we'll do the best we can given the circumstances that we have. That's all we can do.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to Tuesday. What's Tuesday look like for you?
Well, Tuesday's focus is college football and collaboration. I'm prepping, and every day the process starts. Minty, you and I both do a fair bit of media. Whether it's radio, whether it's videos, whether it's whatever. And for early on, I prep for the first thing I do is I prep for whatever media I have to do that day. If there's teams I have to talk about that I haven't researched, I'm going to do that. Or there are trends I got to look up. Well, we'll do that. So that's regardless of the date. So I prep for whatever media I have on Tuesday. The focus is on college football. And Tuesday is the day that I do every game on the board in college football. I'll go through every game. I'm going to check the series history. I'm going to check the coaches' ATS records. I'm going to check the spots. I'm going to see who they have next week. I'm going to read as many beat writers as I can possibly read. Tuesday's a heavy college football day. And of course, over the years, the Tuesday group used to meet Tuesday afternoons. That's a bunch of handicappers. We would all get together and go through the games. The Tuesday group now has gone by the wayside, but I still do my own little Tuesday group where I get on the phone, a couple of guys I respect, guys who've been doing this a long time, and we go through every game. We have a little conference call, and it's cute. Sometimes we're on the phone for 2 hours,
Wow.
but it's opinions I'm interested in. And a lot of games, I got nothing. But the goal at the end of that, all right, now I've gone through college football game by game. I've gone through the series history. I've talked to people, bettors, bookmakers, etc. I'm familiar with the coaches. I'm familiar with the spot. Now I'm going to make my short list.
Okay.
And for me, the short list is a huge part of the process. Because after Tuesday, the games that aren't on my short list, I don't look at them anymore. They're gone. Mm-hmm. So anything that I have any interest, any side that has piqued its interest, any total, NFL and college, both, by the end of Tuesday night, I'm going to have usually, and again, there are weeks that it's 12, there are weeks that it's 8, there are weeks that it's 30 in college football. That these are the games that require further investigation. These are the games that require further work, further thinking, further line moves, whatever. But I'll make my short list, and if it's not on the short list at that point for that week, that team, they're dead to me.
Yeah.
Again, if something big happens, you follow, you're paying attention. But the focus from Wednesday and Thursday is you're narrowing your card, and you're getting every bit of info that you can have on your card. So on Tuesday, again, I'll make a handful of bets, and I'll make my short list for NFL and college by the end of Tuesday night. That will include the games that I've already bet. That will include picks that I've already posted for the clients with write-ups already for the clients. They'll all be on the short list, but I still put them there, but I know that you put a check mark there or whatever. And then, of course, Tuesday night, you have to do I do a little video prep on Tuesday. A lot of times we shoot videos on Wednesdays. Studio. And you have to prep for that. There's always, multiple videos, and you got to be prepped for them. So I usually start that on Tuesday night, and I'll do a little bit more of that on Wednesday morning.
All righty. Our dear Carmine Bianco asks, Teddy, while many bettors will share information amongst other trusted fellow bettors, how much stock do you put into that information altering any given play?
I apologize. My earpiece fell out. I did.
Teddy.
What am I going to do? It fell out. Carmine said.
All right. Carmine Bianco said, Teddy, while many bettors will share information amongst other trusted fellow bettors, how much stock do you put into that information altering any given play?
Like other bettors. So my bets are my bets. Okay. If I talk to 10 people and they all like the one side, I'm like, you guys are idiots. It's the other side. Okay. They're not going to talk. I'm not a consensus handicapper. I'm not. I talked to 6 guys, 5 of them like this. Then I'm going to like that.
Okay.
If I talk to 5 guys, they all like the other side, and I'm like, nah, I don't like you. My reasoning is better than your reasoning. I'm not going to change anything.
Okay. Good. I like that.
You have to. You can't handicap via consensus. That being said, the guys that I talk to, I'm talking to them because I respect their opinions and I'm interested in what they have to say. And the guys that I'm not interested in their opinions and don't care what they have to say, I don't talk to anymore. That was one of the benefits of the Tuesday group ending.
Good point. Okay, good. I hope that answers your question, Carmen. Teddy doesn't listen to anybody. So let's move on to Wednesday. You said Wednesday is kind of your easier day or your less busier day, I guess.
Yeah. Wednesdays and Fridays you get a chance to breathe. Wednesday you're going to prep for the media. Any video prep that I haven't done, I'll take care of. Wednesday mornings for me are a lot about stats. And if you've noticed, I haven't really talked about going through the stats hard yet. That's Wednesday morning.
Right. Okay.
I'm not a statistical-based handicapper. Okay, that's not my MO. The markets are exclusively often statistical-based handicappers. So what I'm looking for more than any other factor, I'm looking for stats that lie.
Okay.
All right, I want stats that aren't telling the story. Here's a game that I watched. All right, and this team killed that team. And at the end of the game, Team A had, the team that lost had 6.1 yards per play, and the team that won had 5.7 yards per play. Because in the fourth quarter, the team that won ran the ball up the middle 3 times and punted, whereas the other team was just getting first downs and picking up chunks of yards against a prevent defense. And the stats don't say any of that. The nuance says all of that. So the stats are going to say, look at this. This team that lost, they were never in the game, but look at their profile. It's great. And I'm like, no, their profile still stinks. These stats are lying. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, stats on Wednesdays, NFL and college football. The markets, especially in college, man, they gravitate towards stats more than they ever did. And I'm looking for the aberrations. What was not, what is lying last week? Turnover, I'm interested in. Yards per play, I'm interested in. Strength of schedule, up and down, I'm interested in. But Wednesday's all about the stats. And then I go shoot the videos. And then Wednesday night,
sit back and relax.
That's your time. Wednesday night, if Karen and I are going to have a date night, it'll be Wednesday night usually.
Aww,
a lot of times
I love it. Okay, perfect. So Wednesday night off. Wednesday morning, find stats that lie. I love it. Okay, next up, let's move on to Thursday.
So Thursday, again, it's you're getting up, you're prepping for the media. Whatever media hits I have, and Thursday tends to be a day with a fair few media hits for me, so I'm prepping whatever I got. Now I'm finalizing my short list. When I wrote up that short list early in the week, let's say I had 20, and gradually I don't want this one, or I'm gonna bet this right now. You're crossing them out and checking them and all of that. So normally by Thursday the short list will be cut down pretty significantly. I'm checking injury updates, and again, I'm checking my beat writers again. You're posting plays, you're doing write-ups. Thursdays, you're certainly at the stage of the week where clients, if you haven't put out much, clients are expecting it. You better get it out for Thursday and Friday, and then Thursday tends to be a day where I do a fair few write-ups, a fair bit of posting plays. And then, of course, you've got Thursday night football with both college and the NFL every week. I like it when there are multiple games in college. You're watching, you're betting in game. And as with all the games I really haven't talked about this yet. We haven't talked about watching. When I'm watching, I'm not watching the games like this. All right.
You're watching them like this.
No. But I'm watching the game like that. I'm taking notes. I'm constantly taking notes. I'm taking notes on the laptop. I sit with the laptop and I'm making bets and taking notes and making bets and taking notes. And at the end of a Sunday, I'll have notes. I'll have pages worth of notes. And the key is you got to go through them. And I'll have it I'll have those every week. I sort them by team, and then I'll have a sense as the season progresses. This is what I said about this team week 2. I watched them again week 3. I watched them again week 6. I watched them again week 8. You have a sense of a progression for what you're thinking about that team and the notes that you're taking. And of course, you want to read all that stuff again before you make your bets, and as you're making your bets and as you're thinking about your thought process, you want to make sure that you get that involved. So Thursday tends to be a day that's fairly heavy in the betting and posting plays category for me. And then, of course, Thursday night is a watch night.
Thursday night. All right, Teddy, we have a very, very popular request here. I had a question from Princess Chachu. Teddy, any thoughts on a martingale betting system? And Prez chimed in and said, oh my God, Minty, ask him about it. It's brilliant. It happened right when he moved to Vegas on the roulette table. Do you have any recollection of what he's talking about?
I know exactly what he's talking about because I have a roulette system.
Now everyone wants to hear it. Okay.
No, it's a story and a half. But let's just say this. So, in theory, well, no, I'm going to talk about martingale and not my, that's for a whole other podcast. I could tell that story. It's not a story that gets told in 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and if we have 15 minutes to finish it, I better, But yes, I did. Early in my gambling days, I did have a martingale strategy for roulette, and it paid off very nicely until the one time that it didn't, and then that was the end of that system. That's just the problem with martingale systems, is that they'll pay off, it'll work, but the one time that it doesn't work will bust you.
Okay. Oh my! You lost your house, didn't you?
I lost my bankroll.
Oh my God! Okay, I'm gonna cry.
Don't need to cry. as you're learning, again, at the time, this wasn't my, it wasn't my full-time job.
Okay.
It was a hobby, and it's very different. This is my full-time job. So I talk about what you do if it's your hobby. You can't do all this stuff. Obviously, no one can do all this stuff if you're trying to do, 6 hours a week or 10 hours a week, whatever you're going to put into it. So yeah, I didn't lose my house, Minty, but it was,
thank God,
a bad enough gambling experience that I learned a lesson from it. And I've had a couple of. You don't want those.
Okay.
I've had a couple. The lessons that you learn bad enough that they stick in your head are usually because you got punched, not because you got tapped.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right. Let's move on to TGIF Friday. And I didn't realize you really did put Saturday morning last here. So let's move on to Friday day.
Yeah, I wasn't lying.
No, I didn't know.
If you look at Saturday morning, it's bang. There's like 400 things on there.
Yeah, I'm like, we're done Friday. Okay.
The weekends are tight, man. From 7 o'clock in the morning until 11 or midnight on Saturday and Sunday, I'm not answering the phone. My buddy's calling from back east. Yeah, whatever, dude. I'll talk to you next week. It's not. You're working. But Friday again, the same thing. You prep for media. You're posting plays and doing whatever write-ups, and then usually Fridays, whatever the last plays I'm going to post for the weekend on Friday. I don't like to put up stuff first thing in the morning. People don't get it. People don't get the numbers. So I'll post the plays. I'll do my write-ups. The markets are going to move all around on Fridays, and Friday's a good day for market watching. You're going to pay attention, but Friday for me is not a huge day for betting. I'll save that for Saturday morning because the direction the lines move on Friday, they tend to continue moving that direction the next morning, and you'll get even better numbers. So injury info in college football is key as you're tracking your beat writers. You'll get info. Hey, this guy's not playing. This guy is. Sometimes you'll have that before the market does. And if you do, obviously, you're going to take advantage of good numbers. Fridays are contest entries. Whatever contest I'm in, whether it's the Super Contest or the Circa Millions or the Golden Nugget or whatever it is. Fridays is when I'll do my contest work on Fridays. And then, of course, I watch Friday Night Football. Sometimes you have to have a date night on Friday night.
Yeah.
Friday night's the other night where you get to be a little bit.
Go to PTs and go play Keno. Do you play Keno, or are you against it just like Marco?
Well, again, look, I'm telling a story about how I was martingailing roulette, which has a fairly significant house edge. And again, this is early in the career, but certainly when we talk about house edge, you're not beating Keno. Okay.
No.
That being said, Keno can be a relatively inexpensive way to hang out and chill out for a couple hours in the casino. Absolutely. But no, I rarely sit in the Keno room. It's been a long time since I sat in the Keno room. I don't remember.
Keno room. I was talking about like PTs or something, or the Lodge, and playing Keno like at their gaming bar.
Oh yeah,
Keno room with the crayons and stuff. No.
Yeah, with the crayons. Back in the day, I did that a little bit every once in a while, but not often.
Yeah. And when I was back in the day, I used the crayons to color in all the squares because I was only 6 or something. Okay, anyway, keep going with Friday. Oh, contest entry, you mentioned I wanted to plug in KIV proxy, best proxy service in America. Keep going, Teddy.
Yeah, look, if you're thinking about a proxy, you don't need to think about it. Just hire Kelly. It's a good.
Kelly.
She's good.
Yeah.
It's not about anything. There's only one thing that matters. That's reliability. Okay. I'm literally with contest entries. There's only one thing that matters, and that's are my picks going to get put in right? And how long has Kelly been doing this? Almost as long as I've known her. Since they allowed it, and I've never heard one complaint. So that's
And I have personally worked for her last season for the contest entries, and she's very thorough. Her and Brett are very, very thorough. So just great service also. So.
Yeah, whatever. I don't want to overhype it, but if you need someone to do your contest entries, Kelly, look no further.
That's right.
And then Friday, you got to get a good night's sleep on Friday night. That's why I wrote that sometimes you get a date night on Friday, but it'll be a dinner date night, not a let's go drinks and dance and date night.
No brunch. Okay. Oh, you mean dinner? Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So
absolutely. Okay.
I'm in bed Friday at 10 o'clock. All right. during football season. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Early night sleep, because the next 2 days are brutal. The next 2 days I'll be working from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed. So Friday, you have a little bit more time. Wednesday and Friday nights I have a little bit of time, but not. It's not like a Friday night is all right, let's start drinking, and you wake up Saturday morning dead. No.
Do you always watch the games? You probably always watch the games at home with your laptop and everything, because it's work, right? You don't go to the sportsbook and watch.
Yeah, at this stage, I rarely go to the books to watch. Back in the day, I'd watch every Saturday at Bally's. I watch every Sunday at Fiesta. But that was well back in the day.
Yeah.
Since once you get your own DirecTV, you're not. The
NFL package, yeah, that's the best.
Well, the college is.
Oh yes, in the college. Why do I always forget about college football? Yes. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Saturday morning. We're finishing up with Saturday morning, Teddy. This is a busy morning.
Yeah, no doubt. Saturday morning the lines are moving like crazy. That's why that's why I don't bet that much on Fridays, because generally the Friday moves indicate what's going to happen on Saturday morning. I'm waiting all week for an under 56. You can find it. You're waiting all week for a plus 7.5. Now's the time. So you make a fair few bets on Saturday morning, even stuff you haven't given your clients. Your clients didn't get this number. I was waiting for this number. Now it's here. The stuff for the clients is important, and it's important. Clients don't want 20 bets. All right. Yeah. If you have a bad Saturday, you'll wipe them out. I learned this the hard way. Clients. Well, most of the lessons we learn in gambling are the lessons learned the hard way, Minty.
Yes.
That's why on a Saturday, I'm going to have generally many more bets than my clients are going to have. My clients are real happy when I go 5-0 or 6-0 or 4-0 or whatever, 4-1. But the benefit of a huge weekend is overshadowed by the cost of a devastating weekend. If you're putting out 15, 20 plays and you have a really bad weekend, you have no clients on Monday morning, and that's not my goal. So on Saturday morning, there's stuff I'm going to bet that my clients don't have. It's just how it is. You're always looking for late breaking injury info. Your Twitter's always open. And Saturday I watch. And again, I have 3 TVs. Normally I have a backup game on each of the TVs, so I'm tracking 6 games, but I'm focusing mostly on the 3 games that I'm watching. So you have the 9 o'clock games, you have the 12:30 games, you have the 4 o'clock games, and then you have the late games. At the end of the day, you'll have watched a quarter of all the teams in college football play. If you count Thursday night, and of course, a lot of the teams you don't get to see any. You don't get to see Akron play every week. You don't get to see South Alabama play every week. You don't get to play, or Rice or whoever. So by watching, it's not just the ESPN game or the Fox game or the ABC game. I'm really focusing in particular on the teams that I haven't seen before, or the teams that I don't see on TV every week.
Okay.
Like, oh yeah, I was watching Alabama LSU. I was like, great. I was watching Louisiana Monroe. Arkansas State. Because I've seen Alabama play 5 times already, and I've seen LSU play 5 times already, and I haven't seen those other guys, and I want to know what that quarterback looks like, and I want to know what the offensive line looks like. So, the 3 TVs are on all day. I usually watch 4 sets, 4 sessions. And again, talk about things that we're looking for. How does a team play with a lead? How does a team play when they're trailing? Are they a quit team when they're down, or are they a team that plays like their hair was on fire? Are they a team that they're up 3 touchdowns, they're going in for the 4th? Are they a team that's going to be up 3 touchdowns and run the ball up the middle and punt? I'm looking for character as much as talent. Yeah, can the QB play? Yeah, can the secondary get a stop on 3rd down? But all those little character issues, as much as you can focus on them, I try to focus on them. And of course, what stats are lying? That's always my goal, Minty. What stats are lying? There's lots on weekends. I make a ton of in-game bets, halftime bets, relatively small, but I'm making them all day long. And of course, I'm always taking notes on the laptop. the laptop on a Saturday at the end, I'll have notes on, 20, 25, 30 teams. And again, I track them by team. The next time I look for that team, I'm seeing all my previous notes on them, and it makes it relatively easy to take care of. So that's what Saturday mornings will look like until we get into Saturday nights. And Saturday nights, Saturdays are a busy day, man. It's just
Saturdays are busy. I gotcha. All right. So 2 quick questions before we get off here. We have gone a full hour almost. Teddy Stock asks, how many bets do you average a week during football season? Do you know, or do you really keep track of that? Or it really varies?
It really varies, that. And again, when you talk about an average sides and totals pregame, I'd say probably 15 to 20 on average.
Okay. A week. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a guesstimate. There are weeks there'll be a lot more. There are weeks there'll be a lot less. And then when it comes to in-game or half times and all that, that really varies. That just depends on what I see. There are times I'll be like, okay, I'm going to in-game bet today. I'll be in-game and I don't make a bet. And there are times, all right, I'm going to bet this, and I bet it 6 times. It's just how you don't. Yeah, I don't want to go in with a thought process of how many bets am I going to make today.
Right.
I want to go with the thought process of when you see a good opportunity, take advantage of it.
Okay. Last question, I should say. David, our loyal listener. So your college client plays are in by Friday morning. He asks because he can only bet on one day of the week when he drives up to Mississippi. So do you have a specific day where you load up all your college bets? Is it Friday morning?
So no, I'll oftentimes post up early in the week. By Friday morning, everything's posted. So
by
that's my
Friday,
deadline.
everything is posted.
Yeah,
gotcha.
By Friday, I think I might. Friday 9 a.m. Pacific is my deadline. And great questions, guys. I really appreciate all the the questions.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Comments and all the feedback and shit. Somebody asked me because somebody asked me a question last week and I promised I would answer them on air. And now I don't remember what the question was. If it was you, I super apologize. We're at the end of this pod. I will look it up and I promise we'll answer it to start the show next week. Because I said I would do it. Gosh darn it, I got to look it up then. So I apologize.
Promise. We'll dedicate 5 minutes to this person and their question next week. How about that?
Sure.
All right, guys. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your questions. Teddy, thank you so much for answering all of them and giving us your breakdown day by day in your week of football season. Everyone, don't forget to subscribe to Wager Talk TV on YouTube and follow Teddy Covers at Teddy_Covers on Twitter. Thanks, Teddy.
Cheers, Minty. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Teddy, someone called us a sports betting power couple. Teddy plus Minty equals heart.
Love it. Cool. Do you want to be I'll be a sport. Look, I'll be a sports betting power couple with you. I got no problem with that.
Yay.
We can't be a power couple. Minty's like a power couple.
He demands. I guess we're breaking up. Yeah, we are done. Thanks, y'all.